And we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome back to my channel. And let me know if you can hear me, if you can see us. I'm going to close out this and find my friends, Mary and Lucy. Hey, guys, thanks for coming. Can you got everybody hear okay? Okay, I feel like I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes. You're
Maybe you could.
quiet.
You couldn't hear me because I wasn't saying anything.
Okay, guys, help me out here. This is a conversation here. Well, hello. We have someone here in the chat, 2 people in the chat. Thanks for coming. Oh, hey, Stephanie. So today we're going to talk about how to get to know the parents. And I think I have 2 really good representatives. I am not included as a good representative for it, but I would like to know more about it. I think it's a great idea to be in contact with your parents. And I think I miss out a lot not being in contact with them. So yeah, let's get started right away. Mary, you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's Mary Maple, and I'm in my 6th contract with VIP Kid. I absolutely love teaching the little ones, and I have a really steady following of regulars, and I think in part because of my relationship with the parents, I really connect with them, and they look to me for advice, not just about what their kids are learning, but parenting advice. I mean, they'll ask different kinds of questions and opinions, and I think that rapport that I have with them allows me to serve their kids even better. So I'm excited about this topic. I don't know how much I'll actually be able to say do this, this, and this. I just know that I have this awesome relationship with others. And if I may, Kasie, I hope this isn't out of line. I am also working with OutSchool and with Pampered Chef and Osborne Books. Right now, I'm hosting a fundraiser with Pampered Chef for the Hope Lodge. Hope Lodge is run through the American Cancer Society, and they provide housing prior to the COVID for cancer patients needing a place to stay while they were away from their hometown for treatment. Now it's being repurposed for frontline healthcare workers. And so for this week, I'm running a fundraiser. So if anyone wants more information about that, I would be very excited to share that with you. I'm really hoping to raise about $500 for them.
Yeah, and I'm looking here. We can add your link too.
Okay, great.
So just let me know and we'll add your link below.
Can I do that after this is over, Kasie? Is that what you mean? Or
we can do it. Well, oh, that's Mindy. Are you in the chat box?
I am not, because I think my YouTube was echoing into.
You have to mute it. But if you get in the chat box, I'll make you a moderator and you can put it directly in the chat box. So
okay, great.
While we're chatting. So, all right, Lucy.
Hello, I'm Lucy West, and I've been with VIP Kid. This is my 8th contract, and about a year after signing on with VIP Kid, when it wasn't really popular, I started with WeChat, but it was because I was teaching with REP program, the Rural Education Program, and they asked us to get WeChat to be in contact with those local teachers so we could better minister to their classes. Now we don't do that with them, but once I had WeChat, it just kind of I had a few parents that were regulars that I'd had for a year, and it was a way that I could connect with them. So I started sharing that. And once it got shared with one parent, she put in feedback. Oh, thank you for your WeChat information. And then suddenly other parents started saying, oh, you have WeChat? Let me get in on that. So, but now it's something that so many teachers have, and I've seen it posted in groups that, this is what parents told me on WeChat, and then they say, well, send those screenshots in a ticket. So I'm pretty sure it's okay now.
I was going to say something about WeChat. We do have a dedicated time to talk WeChat this week as well with someone who swears by WeChat, Sophie. I think that's Friday morning. I'll have to look that up.
That's cool.
But I am not able to validate people. Every time we mention WeChat on my channel, people are like, can you validate me? And
Oh
I can't.
no.
There are some, I guess some accounts people are able to, and others people are not. Whatever account they hooked me up with, I am not able to. I'm sorry. I've tried to help, but
Well, I think you're only allowed to validate like 4 people.
yeah, I've never been able to
So,
validate anybody. So we can't validate for you, but maybe you can
well,
find someone.
even before WeChat, getting in touch with parents through feedback and in the classroom itself, that's
Right.
where you start.
I think that's
it
where Mary's
starts.
strong point is. And Mary talked about, they ask parenting advice. Who better to ask parenting advice than, am I going to say this right? You were a family therapist at one time, right? Or
Yes, that's
am I
right.
saying it right?
Wow.
Yeah. So I think that's part of the strength that I bring into. Am I here? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, good. I'm still trying to figure out how to do YouTube and this at the same time. So I think that's one of the strengths I bring is my ability to relate on a deeper level with people. And so bringing that to the parents is just quite natural for me. And I think it starts with, the first time I see that child, it's easier when there's younger kids because the parents are often sitting there.
Right.
But I make sure to engage with them and ask them, say hello, do they have any questions? But then when I'm teaching, I have the kid interact with the parent, right? So the child's becoming involved with the parent. Now it's a threesome, whether it's talking about he throws the ball, Mom, can you catch the ball? And they're interacting back and forth. And then I'll have Mom do it with me. I'm also sometimes teaching Mom. Often it's Mom, sometimes Dad. You know, helping them refine their pronunciation. So if they are coaching their kid at home, then it's easier for them to know exactly what to do. So I feel like it's multiple levels. It's helping them be a good homework assistant to their student, and then helping them just praising them, praise the parent for the amazing job they're doing with these kids. That's where I start. I don't know.
I think they need that praise too. Some of the things that I have found with some of the moms that I have regular contact with is they feel like they're such failures as moms.
Yes.
Oh.
If their kids are not doing as good, if they miss anything, if their school is not as good, if the kid comes home depressed one day, all of those things feed into I'm not good enough as a mom and I'm not as good as the next door neighbor.
Yeah, there is so much pressure. I mean, there's a lot of pressure for the students to excel and excel and excel and do so many extracurricular activities that are kind of part of their resume building. But that same pressure is on the parents to try to get their kids to that level so that they have an opportunity as they get older. So
I asked my student what
hard.
she wanted to be when she grows up, and she's older. She's an older student. I love her. I love her. And she said, well, I don't really know what my choices are yet because I don't know what I'm good at. You have to be good at something to have that job. So she's taking 5 classes a week, math classes in school during the summer. And then she's like, I'm so excited because I have one more day and then a day off. And she's taking classes with me. So she's a very hard worker. So yeah, they have lots of pressure on them.
And that's summer.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, hey, Stephanie and Vivian, Charles, Rebecca, Mindy. Hey, Mindy. Who else? Wow, thank you all for coming. Cindy Bennett, hello. Oh, thanks, Mindy. Mindy said, don't forget a thumbs up. I try to remember to say it, but I don't always do. So, all right. So some of the ways, I guess let's get into more detail about how would you start with the parents? How would you start making contact with them and getting to know them? Anybody?
Lucy, would you like to start?
I was going to let you start. See my open hand to you.
So yes, so what I do, like I said, it's been a while since I've had a brand new student. I mean, that's how full my regular schedule is. But,
all right, guys.
It is about just saying hello at first and thank you so much for giving me the honor of teaching your child. So right away, it's just the tone that you're setting, right? You're making your feedback personal. It's not canned feedback. So that initially sets the stage for she's being real with me, because they know when you're doing cookie cutter feedback, right? So if you're actually taking the time to give the valuable feedback, it helps establish trust. The more that trust gets built, the more eager they are to engage with you. So it becomes that cycle of, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen in little increments in building that trust and praising them and giving them support, telling them really directly what they can do to help their child. You know, it's those little tools and skills in feedback that then when you see them in the classroom, it starts to build on that. So, and then what I have done for my students who are regulars that I've seen for a while, I don't do this right from the start, but I have given my email to a select group of parents, and that has never been misused. They use it to either schedule classes when they're having a hard time getting in with me, or asking for very specific advice. So I have that rapport on the side as well, which I'm really grateful for.
Right. Very good. Lucy?
I have to agree with so much of everything Mary said.
I know she's got great words anyway, so.
What do you do to follow up with that? But I can give an example, because I do have Monday is a day where there's one student who is regular, and usually I do a homeschool co-op on Mondays, so I never work. So during the summer, it becomes a day that I test classes or open short notice, which hopefully gives me trials, but it also brings in new students. So last Monday, I had a new student. Her name was Rainbow Boo Boo. Such a cute name.
I love it.
So immediately I think, well, I need to draw a rainbow for this student. So I drew on a Stars to Apple app. I drew a rainbow and I put, "Hello, Rainbow Boo Boo." And when she came in, that was displayed on the screen. And then, we had some little fun laughter, and she did an Elsa award where she chose butterflies and they got big or small. So really having fun throughout the lesson. And then in feedback, well, at the end of class, Mom poked her head in and she was like, "Thank you so much. Bye." So then in feedback, it was very, very personal. It was, "I'm so glad to meet Rainbow Boo Boo. She was a wonderful student and a joy to teach," all these praises. And then very specific, she can learn to use complete sentences. "I like the way she finger counted with me. This is a mouse." Make sure she counts 4 words so that she has a complete sentence. And so you're just giving very specific feedback, and very specific feedback about what she needs to improve and how she can improve, as well as what she did really well. But the other thing was, during class, some of the sentences allowed for me to ask her the question, and then I had her ask Mom the question.
Yes, exactly.
So she would ask Mom the question, and that was helping her learn that conversation. And I used a double-sided whiteboard, so the question's on one side and the answer on the other.
Nice.
And she knew by question mark which one to say. And so
perfect.
Mom started asking and answering. And so for homework, I said, you can continue to practice that asking and answering to practice that conversation skill. And so I got the best feedback back from that mom, saying, how great the lesson was. And, of course, I'm the best teacher ever.
Right?
Because she didn't meet Mary.
Or Kasie.
Or Kasie, or any of the other really, really great teachers out there. I was the first teacher that the student had. So, of course, I'm the best she's ever met, because I was the first one. But, it was just a very, very personal feedback that she gave back to me. And it was just a joy. So then I had her again today. And before class started, Mom and Dad both, one on each side, came in and said, "Hello, Teacher Lucy. We're ready." So you've already made that personal connection, and it just grows from there. You have to start.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the other thing, when we're praising the child, I also praise the parent. Mom, you did a really great job today of giving so-and-so enough time to respond. Excellent. When
Yeah.
your child is given the time she needs to answer the question, her confidence will grow. You know, I like when you helped her when she was really struggling. I will also do that so that we are a team working together. Let them know we're our team, that she's not being excluded, she's valued, but she's got her role and I'm the teacher. But let the parent know what they're doing well, because it's their confidence that needs boosting as well.
Good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have not had many parents like send Apple feedback for trial lessons. And I got one the other day and I was like super excited for it, because a lot of times trial lessons you don't. But I included mom and I said thank you, and she came on screen and thanked me. And so that was pretty neat. I like that.
It's
I have
awesome.
one, I have to tell you really quick. I have one that the mom sits on the side of her son every time. You guys have probably heard about it, but he gets so excited and he doesn't do anything but just hug her so tight and kiss her cheek. And
Oh,
I just love it. He's this big little 5-year-old, you know, he's like,
That's so
I want to
cute.
pinch his cheeks, but he loves his mama. And I
That's
write that
awesome.
in feedback too. I'm like, I love the way he just gets excited and just hugs you. It's so cute.
And Kasie, that's doing it. That
Yeah.
is making that personal connection where you're admiring something about their relationship. Yeah, that's
Good.
awesome.
I think it also gives them permission to have those moments,
Yes.
because in the school class, in the classroom setting, they can't act like that. And
Yeah.
so now they're at home and you're saying, I love when he does this. You're giving them permission. One of the things that a student did was bring in this fire truck, and dad was like, no, we don't have time for that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to see the fire truck,
Yeah.
and I asked her questions. She's only 5, but I was asking her questions and she made the sounds and she told me what it said. And then I said, okay, now let's put the fire truck away. And in feedback, I said, I love when she brings a toy and she can express herself using that toy. Please allow her to bring one at the beginning of class. It's giving them permission to do that.
Yeah. I have done that too. I like when they bring something that they're excited about to tell me. Yeah. Good. So how do you think connecting with the parents have benefited you?
I have anywhere from a 55 to 70% feedback rating.
Nice.
You know, and
Jealous.
I've never had anything below 5 apples. Like it's that relationship. But I will tell them, I really appreciate your feedback and support. It helps me progress with VIP Kid. And sometimes when it's close to contract renewal, and renew my contract. Well, yes, I want to renew your contract. So, the feedback comes, but they're just very generous that way, because it is a discussion. It's not just me leaving some facts. So in the sense that feedbacks are important to us teachers, at least for the next short while, it has helped me that way. I think it's helped me really want to do my very best for that child. If I know them deeply and personally, then I know what they are needing. That's not just, the everyday lesson. I can really customize it. And the mom or dad helped me figure that out.
Great. Lucy?
What was the question again?
How has it helped you?
I think building a group of regulars that are mine, like just mine, and nobody else's.
Mine.
Or my kids. It has helped me build that really regular base, as well as I just feel like when I have that relationship with the student and with the parent, that my lessons are catered to that student. It's not just let's learn about reptiles and mammals, or let's learn about friends. I learn more about the students' friends and the parents' friends and how they work together and what they do together. And then I meet the friends, and then it's just become a family.
Yeah.
And they are my family. And
Yes.
when you have family, you care deeply about them and you want what's very best for them. And so every single class is, what can I do to make this lesson better than the
Yeah.
last one? What can I do to help him? He's really not pronouncing that sound. What am I going to do? How can I help him? And it constantly pushes me to be a better teacher for that student for the next class.
Great.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's so well said, Lucy. Yeah. And isn't it wonderful when we get invited into their family celebrations? I had a class the other day that was in a restaurant, and they didn't really want me to teach, but it was the first time that they lived up in Beijing and they went south and they met with the rest of the family. So it was an extended family and the teacher was invited, and please don't teach, please just join us for our meal. And they all took turns chatting with me, and it was so special.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So those kind of special moments where you are just part of the family and they want you right there with them in their special moments.
Okay, how long did it take you to get those special moments with these families? I mean, it takes a few classes. It's not just
It's not instant, and it builds. You know, it just, I don't know. It's hard to say because it's different from one to the other. I have, you've probably heard me talk about my little Tao Tao, but she just turned 4, and I started with her right after her 3rd birthday. And it was in her first 12 classes that I became her regular. I think she had 3 other teachers before me, and then she's mine. And shortly after that, I was in a car accident, and VIP Kid was really encouraging her to find another teacher because I was off 6 weeks. And she said, no. I mean, she just, no, we're not having any classes. And they said, and they really were encouraging her to move on. And then she said, no, I signed up for 3 years because of Teacher Mary, so she's mine.
Wow.
And it was like, wow, like building that relationship with that kind of dedication is just amazing. So sometimes it happens a little more quickly, and others it just takes time.
Yeah.
And it's little bits by little bits. So many people have such different personalities. It's not easy to say it's going to take this amount of time. It doesn't happen in 1 or 2 sessions. It happens. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not giving a better answer.
There is no definite time limit. You're right. And part of that is you have to build trust with each other. You have to be able to trust the family because you don't know how they might feel about different things in a lesson.
Right.
So you have to be able to trust the family, but they have to be able to trust you. And once you start building that trust and you get to know each other better, that's when that relationship can really build to that point.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the family I was talking to you about, I think we're getting to that point. He gets to do more stuff by himself now. And, you know, he's becoming that little big boy, and they're trusting me to correct him. So mom's not jumping right in, you know.
And that's such a good point, Kasie, because that's true. Like these hovering moms who like are trying to correct their kid all the time. It's because they want them to get it right and they don't know if you will.
Right.
Do that. Yeah. So showing them that, you've got this, you will correct, and you will do it in your way. And you explain in feedback if your method is a little different than theirs, so they understand the why behind not correcting everything because you want Johnny to build their confidence, or you know, we're working on this and this right now. I don't want him overwhelmed working on picking on everything. Whatever it is that you do, they'll understand your reasoning behind it and trust your method. So, or move on. But you find the ones that click with how you do it, right?
Yeah. Very good. Okay, what else? Let's see. Well, guys, if you have any questions for us, put them in the chat box. You know, it's funny. This is a different kind of chat because I don't think a lot of people know each other in the chat box yet. Guys, feel free, chat away in the chat box. Let us know what you do to connect with parents. Have you been with VIP Kid for a long time or other ESL companies? And do you use WeChat? What else? Do you use your personal email? We want to know so we can share some info here. So
VIP Kid used to have the ability to send personalized e-cards. I
Yeah.
really liked it when we had that ability.
Mhm.
Now you can still send e-cards, but they're kind of, well, they're just standard, non-personal. At least you
Right.
get a message to them, but I think it's kind of lost its meaning, at least for the
Right.
most part.
I will
That's
say,
what I like
oops,
the
sorry.
emails. Yeah.
The last 2 times I've sent them to students I hadn't seen in a while, the next frenzy they booked. So I think reaching out every once in a while is, a good
It's
thing
still
too.
a reach out. Yes,
You
it
should have
still
reached out
is.
sooner to them, but
And it's a great way to reach parents for the first time. The first time you have a student, to send a card, or when you do a trial, to send a card for that trial student, or you see
yeah,
that birthday on your regular students, or your student list in the app.
right.
When you see a birthday coming up, to send a card. Those are great ways to continue reaching out to students, especially
Absolutely.
brand new to you students,
Mhm.
to start building that relationship.
I take about 5 minutes every day to check for birthdays and to see anyone I haven't seen in a while. So now I know you've both had tons of classes with VIP Kid. How many classes and what's the most you've had with one student?
Oh,
Lucy's pulling up her app. I
Gosh.
can see it.
I'm pulling up my app because that's the only way to find out.
I was going to say, I probably have less than what you might imagine because I pamper myself a lot and,
Good for you. Good
teach,
for you.
Right?
I teach 5 days a week. I have done 7 days a week, but I really don't like doing that. And I won't teach before 6 a.m. So 6 to 9, 6 classes a day, 30 classes a week.
You
That's
teach a lot. That's a lot of classes.
Yeah, so let's see. I have taught a total of 2,454 classes.
Wow.
So not a ton, but
That's quite a bit.
quite a
I've
bit.
taught 2,200, but I'm on contract too. So
Yeah, I know. I mean, thinking in comparison to you, Kasie, I have not taught that many.
Okay.
What was your second part of that question?
What how many is like what am I trying to say?
The
The
most.
number you've had the most of.
Okay, I don't have my phone here to figure that out.
Don't worry about it.
I'm going to say about 220.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a good number in like the 150s to 200, but
Good.
yeah.
So I've taught 8,500 classes.
Yes, that's a lot of
Nice.
classes, Lucy. Like 4 times as many as me in almost the same amount of time.
Okay.
I don't think she can say no either, though. I think she's kind of like me in the sense that, right?
Yeah, kind of. My most finished classes,
Most finished class. That's what I was trying to say.
742 classes with one student, 642 classes with
Wow.
that's my most finished class. And
Awesome.
the others are like 500, 400, 370, 313.
Excellent.
All of my regulars are like 200 and up
Nice.
because I've been teaching
Wow.
them for a long time.
Yeah. I'm almost at my 1 year, guys. 355 days.
Wow, another 10 days. That's awesome. What's the date?
Oh, I think August 8th.
We're going to have a party, Kasie.
Yeah, I know, right? Woo-hoo. I think it's August 8th, and my student with the most finished classes is 112.
Good for you. That's
So,
awesome.
Good.
That's
yeah.
really awesome.
She's the one that I just dropped my phone. She's the one that when she sees other teachers, I get a bad report in the teacher feedback. And it makes me giggle because I think that's why the parents keep booking me, because she'll listen to me. Because I had her all the way through level 1, but they've started taking like some Starlight classes and things like that. So she's had a few different teachers, and it's like she kept writing all over the screen, and I'm like,
So how do you deal with that when she writes over the screen?
she doesn't do it with me. She did some little things, I've had her for almost the whole time I've been teaching. So when she would just do stuff like that, I'd be like, okay, next, and just move on. I just didn't let it bother me or anything. So
Yeah, exactly.
and if it was something she wrote over that I need to see, I'll just erase it, lock her little mouse, and talk to her, and then we'll move on. It's
Oh, that lock the mouse button is the best.
Right?
Yes.
I love it.
Oh.
And they're
there is some
confused little
messages here.
looks like, why isn't it working?
Yeah.
It's
So
not working. When you answer the question, I'll turn it back on.
So I did that with an older student yesterday. I don't know, they're all mixed up. But he was drawing a picture and I gave him some time and I'm like, I did my normal countdown, 5, 4, and he's like, no, 3, 2. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad, but I've already said I was gonna do it. I moved on. He's like, no, teacher. And I said, first this, then we'll go back. Because I needed a win, but not, and he did it and we went back and he finished his little picture and said, thank you. And we went on. I was like,
And what you're demonstrating to the parent there is that you are in control. The child is not, but you're also being compassionate enough to the child to give them some of that flexibility they need without being the one to run the show. So that builds that trust.
I'm used to doing the first then in the classroom. So, when I said it and I was like, ooh, I hope it works. So, guys, I apologize. My chat didn't move until just now. And it's like all from 5 minutes ago. So I'm going to check the chat really quick. They're saying hello. Mindy said, I use WeChat with only one family and it is student who WeChats me. I love that it forces him to practice his English more. Mary, go to a dinner virtually with a parent is crazy fun.
Yes.
I have one parent on WeChat that sends me one post every week, and it's her daughter's project for the next coming class. It's so cute.
So cool.
Yep. Let's see. How many classes have you all taught? Oh, hey, I just did that. That's funny. I'm only on my second contract, and I have taught 657 classes, 182 students, 290 days with VIP Kid. Awesome. Let's see. And wow, Lucy, what is your teaching schedule like?
It's Monday through Friday from 6 to 10 and Saturday if I choose to.
But you also have other roles in VIP Kid, right?
I do. I create materials for certifications and workshop mentor, and rep teacher. I love that.
So can you tell people what that is if they don't know?
Which one?
The Rural Education Project?
The Rural Education Project. I go to the rural area of China. I don't physically go. I said that one time in a workshop and they were like, how do you go every week? No, not physically.
Hop on a plane, baby.
Virtually, just like our classes, but instead of one student, it's a whole class. I've had a class where there were 3 students and I've had a class where there were 60 students, almost 60. But it's classes that VIP Kid gives to those rural areas because they don't have an English speaking teacher there. And so this past semester, I taught 4 classes. One of them was a phonics class. That was not my favorite in the beginning, but then I had to make it fun. So because I don't like boring. And we learned a little chant. I don't know how to do a phonics class, y'all, but we did CVC, CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant, go read.
That's awesome.
Love it.
So every time we changed the rhyme, they would do that. And by the end of the semester, they were doing it completely on their own. And they sent me a video doing that chant. It was so cute. But we just teach, there's song classes, science classes, reading classes, vocabulary classes. Fun. There's so many different types of classes for whatever the students want. And it's special. I've taught one class for 6 semesters.
Wow.
So yeah.
And what are the age
3
group?
years. It's from kindergarten usually through about 6th grade.
Oh, so it's a big mix of kids.
Yes. Now each class that you teach is 1 grade level usually.
Okay.
So like this past week I finished my last 2 classes and one was a grade 4 and one was a grade 5.
Okay.
But
interesting.
So good.
What other certifications do you have, Lucy? Do you teach everything or
everything? 1 through 8, all of the everything.
She helps make she helps to make the videos for us for our training videos. So next time you go into the certification center, Mary, you're gonna notice you see Lucy in the videos.
Awesome.
So, and she also, a lot of times you pilot some of the classes to see how they work and things.
Most of them, before we make a video, we test the classes so that we know kind of what worked and what didn't work, and we leave feedback, and hopefully they change some things. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And then they ask us to make the videos for certification. And we help make some of the questions too. So if y'all hate the questions, hopefully it's not mine.
That's great.
And to put this out there, if there are mistakes made, they are human. And I want to jump on this bandwagon because I better not jump on the bandwagon. It'll get me all frustrated. And
well, I know when
my friends.
In one of the last videos I did, when I watched the playback, I left off a word as I was speaking. I left a word off, and it sounds a little bit strange, but it's still kind of correct. And I was like, oh, somebody is going to say something about that. But I didn't have time to go back and video that one little bitty word. I just couldn't. So there are videos with mistakes in them, and they're just unintentional, and I'm so sorry.
You know, and some days my Boston comes out really thick, so I could see that some days my accent is going to be a little bit different. But in the classes, you make sure that you are on your A game more so than talking to an adult. When you're talking to adults and things, that's your conversation. You know, it's another adult. You know, but when I was teaching ESL in Japan, I knew to slow down. I knew that that's where I need to put my R's in. But if I'm talking to adults and my R sometimes I drop my R's.
Can we hear your Boston accent?
If I get too excited or mad, yeah. You know, when I was 18 and I moved to Florida, it was my first duty station, and everyone, can you say park the car in the Harvard yard? You know, I'd be like, park the car in the Harvard yard, over and over and over and over again. And so I learned to put my R's in when I was 18 years old in Florida. I practiced. And then I was like,
so funny.
Now I want it back. Lucy is a wonderful teacher trainer. She really is. I've gone to Teacher Toolbox, 2 or 3 times now, because I always take something new away from it. So which workshop has been your favorite? Has the Toolbox been the only one you've taught?
I do the new teacher kickoff training.
I haven't seen it.
Workshop. That's mostly it's new teacher kickoff. I do the getting started, which is going through the whole portal and everything, how to book your classes, all of that, and teaching strategies. Anything to do with strategies and teaching kids. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
So the trial toolbox is my workshop. Like I created that one. So of course it's like one of my favorites. I'm also doing next week, I'm doing a student engagement. That one's good also.
Oh, good.
So it's just a one-time thing. It was, hey, we need somebody to do this one. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that one. So
fun. We should link your commercial for the toolbox. I loved it. It was so cute.
That was fun to make.
I haven't seen it in a while. I got to find it again.
Yeah.
Lucy, now I know people have asked for me to ask you about your story with Jasmine. Do you want to share a little bit about that? Last time I chickened out to ask you about it, so this time.
It's easier if you have questions, but I can tell you, I could spend a whole hour on just that story. So you don't want that, but
such a powerful
I can't guarantee story. I'm not going to cry though, so.
I might cry. Well, it started off, she was one of the first ones that I had had a very strong connection with, and it was from teacher feedback and parent feedback back to me. So it was that constant feedback that we got from each other. And many classes she would come on and Jasmine would be crying or something was wrong, and she'd come on and say, I'm so sorry, Jasmine's crying today, I'm a terrible mom. And she grabbed my heart. And I couldn't let her go. But she said that she connected with me. She chose me as a teacher because in my bio, I said I had 7 children and that I homeschooled. And she said, any mom who homeschools 7 children must have a very patient spirit. And I was like, well, I don't know about that, but so I started teaching Jasmine. She was very shy, very reserved, and she got to where she was laughing and smiling a lot. But I did notice over the period of the next year, she was having a lot of headaches and a lot of nightmares. And the mom and I were connecting. And there was one class, I spent the entire class with just mom. And she was just sobbing that she was the worst mom ever, that Jasmine was always depressed. She wasn't the same as the other kids. And she said, maybe what they do in their home is different from what we see outside. And I was like, yeah, they let us see what they want us to see. But what happens in the home is very different. And they have some of the same struggles you have. And so we spoke for that whole 30 minutes because Jasmine was crying. Just it reassuring her that she was a good mom. And the fact that she was willing to sit and talk with me for 30 minutes and 28 and talk through that and really wanted to be a good mom. I said, that's the perfect example of a good mom. I said, you are a good mom. And so often I would leave feedback for her of how well she was doing. And so we connected on WeChat, and I know in the summer she takes 2 weeks off, and she takes Jasmine on a camp. She just takes her to a camp somewhere every single summer. And the summer before, she had taken Jasmine to Canada, and we joked about it that we were in the same hemisphere, the same continent, but we couldn't see each other. And then the next summer, this was last summer, she took off for a week, and then 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks. And so I contacted her. I was like, hey, I'm really missing Jasmine. I hope you're having fun on your trip. And she was like, well, actually, Jasmine is in Guangzhou, I think it was, and that she had been diagnosed with a brain tumor, and they were trying natural healing. And so she was talking about that natural healing, hoping it was the best thing for Jasmine. And it turned out it did not help her. But what she got there was time with Jasmine, just the two of them. She learned to love Jasmine for who Jasmine was. And she learned to love Jasmine for her laughter, for the joy she brought others, for the crafts that she likes to do. There were no English lessons, no piano lessons, no nightmares, no stress of I have to be the best. Jasmine was Jasmine, and
Jasmine
that
was
it.
The best.
And it was just a very big time of healing and of them being the two of them bonding in a way that they had not been able to. And so when they came back, we never took class again. June was our last class a year ago. And when she came back, she had to have surgery, and they put off the first surgery. The second surgery, the doctor punctured her brain, and which called a hemorrhaging, and she was never able to come back from that. It should have been a surgery that healed her. Everything was removed successfully. It was benign. It was not, everything was perfect except for the fact that he punctured her brain and she could not come back from that puncture.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah. And that's hard.
Yes.
But then the VIP kid community just rallied behind me. I was like amazed and sent me to China, and I spent 3 full days with that family and just loved on the mom. And we spent one whole day in a hotel. She took me all around. I went to her house one day, and she took me to Jasmine's school, to the Pizza Hut down the street, to the mall that Jasmine went to the place where she likes to play. She just took me through Jasmine's whole life. And to her room where she had bunk beds. All of these students have bunk beds.
Yeah.
Well, on her desk is her little flowers. She's my flower, and I'm her Lucy bug. We did that during the jobs lesson, and then the insect lesson came about. And so these are Jasmine's flowers. I bought these for Jasmine when we did that unit, and she was a florist. She wanted to be a florist because she likes to make flower arrangements and make people happy. And so I said, you are my flower, and wherever I am, I will have my flower with me. So when we got to the insect lesson, she didn't like any insects, but then she said, I like Lucy bug. I was like, what is a Lucy bug? And she said, you're my Lucy bug, and you live on the flower, so we can always be together. So, these little moments, just such strong moments, such memories that we have together.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I went to China and I saw her flowers. I saw notes that she had written to me. I saw all the things that she played with, the glue where she was constantly making a craft because she hated English classes. She loved me, hates English. And the bed where she said, this is your bed when you come visit me. And I was supposed to sleep there, and that was hard. That was really, really hard.
Yeah.
But then the mom came to the hotel the next day and stayed with me for a whole day. We went and ate lunch, and she cried and she cried. And like she wailed. It wasn't just
I'm
like
sure.
tears. She was wailing. And her question was, how do I forgive them? I can't move on. How do I forgive them? And, we had just had long conversations about that. And I just listened. I did a lot of listening. And I think that's what these parents need sometimes is just someone to listen.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until a month and a half ago that she wrote me a really long letter and she said, I'm finally to the place where I can forgive.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
and now I teach Jeremy. Her
Yes.
brother. I teach Jeremy. And he is the one I was not teaching on Mondays. And she said, I want Monday through Friday, 6:00 or 1800. I was like, you've got it. Whatever you want, I'm there for you. So
people don't know why I'm laughing, but she's mentioning him. You have to watch her video about her little friend. He's quite boisterous.
Oh, yes, he is.
Lucy must be sweating when she's done.
My first class totally wakes me up.
But I love it. Really quick, I just want to say I love it. So Lucy puts in all this work, and part of the video is that she's not sure that he's getting all these lessons, right? But then mom sent her a video of him after the class doing his study task, and he is on it. So yeah.
He knows all of the information. We get to the IRA reader and he says, how boring. But he knows the whole story. And then the mom sent me a picture last week, like Friday, and she said, this is where he gets it from. And it is a book, and in the book it says, how boring.
I have one that runs on the back of the couch through the camera. She'll come back, she'll do something, run back, run. Except she puts her feet in the camera sometimes. Feet and glitter. No thanks.
You just have to put your own foot in the camera.
Yuck.
Yes.
What? That's awesome.
Oh,
no, I put my actual foot.
Challenge.
I can't get mine up that high.
It's hard.
If I wouldn't come back down, I'd be stuck. Did you ever see the VIP kid teacher? She posted a video of herself and she's like, if you want to laugh, watch this. And she went to go reach for a prop and all you see is her feet and it's in her class. Or the one with the mouse. Did you see when the mouse came in the lady's house?
And she stood on her chair.
That is so funny.
I want to know more of those stories, but I don't want them happening to me. She said, Lucy has grandchildren? I can't even believe it.
3 grandchildren. I'm old.
No, you do not have grandchildren.
Yes, I do.
Wow.
3 grandchildren. The youngest one is 10. I mean, the oldest grandchild is 10.
Wow. I almost didn't believe her the first time either. I went to a mentor talk with her. No way. I'm like, you look like a baby. Let's see. Yeah, it's really sad about Jasmine. Mindy, I can't read all your things. It's going to make me... Okay, let's do this one. How old is Jeremy?
Jeremy turned 5 2 weeks ago. And we celebrated his birthday in our class.
And she only had the one sibling, right? Or did she have older siblings too?
No, only one. But Julie, the mom, wants to have another baby.
Oh. Wow.
So we'll see if that gets to happen. She thinks she's too old. I said she's not.
Mindy, no, I would not be a pedicurist. The first time I had a pedicure, I apologized to the lady for having to touch my feet the whole time. I'm like, I'm so sorry. She's like, what? Oh, super fun. Gosh, I don't even know where we were. Kasie, I've never heard an accent from you. Oh, that's funny. If I get really nervous, it comes out sometimes. But okay, so we've been talking about making connections with the parents. And those, you both have really great connections that I'm hoping to one day have with some of my families.
Sounds like it's coming, Kasie. Especially with it's coming.
The idea of family and making connections with people. That's just something I love, and I'm really excited that you can make these connections, online. So.
I think that's what amazes me most about this job, is that it's not just teaching a student and not having any backstory. It's that we really make that heartfelt connection. It's really surprised me the most about the job and what makes it so worthwhile and why I will get up to teach.
Yeah. You hear that a lot, and when changes happen with VIP Kid, and some people are like, I'm leaving, and then other people are like, I can't leave my babies, like, they're, so I'm not going anywhere. Oh, and Mindy did say that she loved the foot, by the way. So Lucy, if you had the word foot, what would you do for a prop? We already know Mary's. Don't stick your foot in the camera though. Okay, no.
I stick my foot in the camera, and then I go, oh, it stinks, because the kids do the same thing.
Oh, there you go.
Stick a different part of the body in. Yeah.
I use well, usually I use the monkey because I say he's got stinky feet, and his looks, the other ones have
his looks like feet. Yeah.
I use the monkey feet, so I still teach feet and foot. I just have to use some props because I don't want to see them. But my little guy that's always hugging his mama, he shows with his feet. He does a little dance with his tush sometimes. He's just he is all 5-year-old boy. Cracks me up. He's probably the closest one to having my own kindergarten classroom again. Like, he's just like it. So, any last minute thoughts about getting to know your parents? Ideas, see? Ideas. I don't know where ours go.
I think don't be afraid of making it personal. I think sometimes we think about needing to stay professional. You can be professional and personal and connect at the same time. So let your heart come through. Let that connection happen and show your more than just the teacher straightness. Like be open to some magic happening, and I think it will in time.
I think I try to do things too quick sometimes, and I don't take the time to sit and think it through and write it. I've gone away from templates, guys, so I'm moving in the right direction.
I was a template queen for a long time, but I changed the template so much, it took me 20 minutes to write feedback because I was changing the template as I was writing the feedback, so it didn't really do much good.
Yeah.
I think one of the things is to have that connection, but don't forget that you're still the teacher. Because one of the things that I've heard from lots of people is, wow, I had these regulars and now they're leaving, and they're going to other teachers, not just for a supplemental class, but sometimes they actually just go to another teacher because they don't feel like they're improving in their English enough. So we need to have a balance. We want to be personal and relational, but at the same time, we want to be a teacher. And so when we can find a balance between those two, that's when you get a regular who's there for life.
Exactly.
For the life of VIP Kid anyway. So you have to constantly think, how can I improve that English? And how can I keep it relational? And when you combine those, that's when you have a good, strong relationship.
Well said, Lucy.
I have one, his name is Sherlock, and I've had him for a while, and then he stopped coming for a while, but he's been back consistently a couple times a week now. And his mom's a doctor. And I think he left for a while during all the beginning. But she'll come on now and she like tattles on him and stuff. Or I'll say, so what do you want for a reward today? And he'll say tic-tac-toe. And I'm like, did mom say it's okay? And I hear her in the kitchen, no. And he goes, no, not okay. But he got 100% on his English test. And mom comes running in to tell me. And it just made me feel like, oh, because I worry about him because he is older, but one of my weakest readers. And he's already gone through 3 and 4. So, I've been really worried about him. So,
Awesome.
it's just like having your own classroom. You worry about these babies. You can't always shut it off at night, So,
Yeah.
I think, let's see. Great discussion. Oh, thanks, Cindy. That's all I can come up with. Anybody good? Good, yeah. So don't forget, if you want to know more about connecting on WeChat, Sophie will be here. I guess I should check the date. Sorry, guys. Mary, can you tell me one more time about, were you able to link that time or no?
I think so. Is it in the chat box? I think I did.
Can you type hello in the chat so I can see if you have a wrench? Because I don't see a message from you. If you try to do a link without a wrench, you won't be able to.
Okay, good. I don't think there's a wrench, whatever that means.
No, I'm going to give you one right now so you should be able to. Mindy said it's nice when you don't have a class right after so you can spend more time chatting with the students about their interests. I have had my camera turned off several times. I always feel guilty and I shouldn't, because teachers comment about other teachers that stay long. So I really try to respect everybody. But I agree with you. I would much rather sit there and chat with my little friends and parents. So it's 10 o'clock a.m. on the 31st, which is this Friday, for the WeChat. I'm excited about that. That was something that somebody had posted and asked us to do. And Sophie seems that she really knows what she's doing there. Were you able to put it in there?
Yes, I think. Can you see it now? So
No.
You can't. So wonder why that is. I see it.
Am I the only one that can't see it? Because my thing didn't update last time. I see a message from Mindy, and then Mindy said, hello, Mary.
And then right below that.
I don't have anything below that yet. Oh, I see, hi, Mindy.
Okay, but right above that?
No.
So in between those, there is another post.
Is it just me? I don't know.
So can you see that now?
Mary. Mindy said she sees it. I don't, so maybe it'll catch up.
Okay.
But I think it's a worthwhile cause to have on here. And oh, yay, it worked.
Okay, good. So that is the Facebook group for the party. And it's a fundraiser for Hope Lodge. I'm just going to state that again because I'm really excited about it. And just today, I found out a really good friend of ours is really, really sick with COVID. So it's extra dear to my heart. My son wrote a book when he was 10, and the photographer of the book, named Rodney, is really struggling for his life right now. So I'm just really extra motivated to have this fundraiser and help the frontline workers who are doing an amazing job.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And Lucy, I think I linked your YouTube, but I don't think you're not so active on YouTube yet, right?
No, not really. I've thought about it a lot. That's as far as it gets.
It's linked there, so when you're ready.
Okay. I do have one other thing I want to mention is that a group of teachers has come together and we've created a Lighthouse Classroom. And it is a ministry to teach one-on-one classes, kind of like OutSchool, but with OutSchool, you can't do any Bible teaching. So this is Bible teaching, and the money raised from these classes will go to serve missionaries in other countries to teach them English in their where they are. So it's called Lighthouse Classroom, and I don't know how to send it to you. It's on Facebook.
Okay.
Cool.
We can add it to the description at the end if you want to.
Okay.
Because are you in the YouTube chat right now or no?
I am, but I don't know how to do anything.
We're such a good team. We may be with VIP Kid for a long time, but don't give us a
after
chat.
this is finished, send me a message with the links. And Mary, if you'll
that.
send me your link again, I will immediately put it in the description box for anybody that wants them. Okay?
Great. Excellent.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you, Lucy and Mary, for coming
Thank
on and
you.
chatting with
Thank
us
you.
today.
This is such an important topic, so I'm really glad we had a
Yes.
chance to discuss it.
Good.
Yeah.
It was nice to meet you, Mary.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Lucy. This is wonderful.
Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
Kasie. And Kasie, we want to celebrate your 1 year with VIP Kids, so you're going to have
All
to do
right.
something special.
10
Yes.
days. 10 days. We'll have a virtual party.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Bye.